Welcome, beautiful souls. Today, we step into a message of hope, protection, and divine truth. Archangel Michael is reaching out with a powerful reminder, one that someone may have tried to keep hidden from you, but not anymore. This message is meant to reach you right now, in these final hours of the day. If you've been searching for clarity, a sign, or a breakthrough, this is it. Stay with me, and let's open this message together with open hearts and minds. What you're about to hear could change the way you see everything. 1:11 a.m. New chapter begins. Your thoughts are aligning with your highest path. Stay focused, because your manifestations are accelerating. Type yes 111 if you're ready to step into your power. 3:33 Ascended Masters are surrounding you with guidance and love. You are being called to rise above fear and embrace your divine mission. Type yes 333 if you are ready to lead with your light. 4:44 Stability and protection are surrounding your journey. Trust that your foundations are strong even when the road seems uncertain. Type yes 444 to confirm your trust in the process. 5:55 Massive change is here. The universe is realigning your path to match your soul's evolution. Let go of resistance and flow. Type yes 555 if you're open to transformation. 6:66 Reconnect with your spiritual truth. You've been focused on the material too long, your soul craves depth and alignment. Type yes 666 if you're ready to return to balance. 7:17 a.m. Soul awakening is underway. The knowledge you're seeking is already within, trust your inner voice. Type yes 717 if you're ready to access your higher wisdom. 8:88 Infinite abundance is flowing toward you. It's time to step into your birthright and receive without guilt. Type yes 888 to unlock the gates of abundance. 9:19 You are ending karmic cycles that no longer serve you. This rebirth is sacred. Honor what is leaving. Type yes 919 if you're ready for soul renewal. 10:10 a.m. Gateway is opening. This is your moment to claim a higher timeline. Trust your next step, you're guided. Type yes 1010 if you feel the shift. 12:12 Divine alignment is here. Soul contracts are activating, and the people meant for you are being drawn in. Type yes 1212 if you're ready to meet your soul tribe. 2:11 New beginnings are stirring beneath the surface. Your intentions are manifesting even if you can't see them yet. Type yes 211 to say yes to the unseen magic. 3:21 You being guided to rewrite your story from a place of empowerment. Your voice holds healing power. Type yes 321 if you're ready to speak your truth. 4:14 The past is no longer your home. A fresh direction is calling, filled with purpose and promise. Type yes 414 if you're ready to walk a new road. 5:15 Your soul is nudging you to take a leap. This moment of courage will lead to extraordinary outcomes. Type yes 515 if you're ready to be bold. 6:16 Release doubt. Your spirit team is orchestrating divine meetings and synchronicities just for you. Type yes 616 if you're open to miracles. 7:07 The divine is whispering to you through dreams, signs, and feelings. Trust your intuition, it's your compass now. Type yes 707 to confirm you're listening. 8:18 You are attracting energy that matches your evolution. Old habits fall away, your frequency is rising. Type yes 818 if you're choosing growth over comfort. 9:29 Healing is happening on a soul level. You're being prepared for something far greater than what you've asked for. Type yes 929 to receive the upgrade. 10:01 You are the creator of your reality. This reset energy is pushing you to dream bigger, believe deeper. Type yes 1001 if you're ready to create anew. 11:44 You are fully supported by your ancestors. Your dreams carry the legacy of those before you. Keep going. Type yes 1144 to honor your divine lineage. 12:21 You are reflecting your future self back to you now. Align your actions with the version of you who already has it. Type yes 1221 if you're ready to embody your highest self. 1:23 Step by step, you are moving into alignment. Small progress is still progress. Keep the faith. Type yes 123 if you're ready to trust divine timing. 2:44 The energy around you is stabilizing. You're being given the strength to build something that lasts. Type yes 244 if you're ready to ground your vision. 3:03 a.m. Miracle disguised as a challenge is near. What looks like loss is really redirection. Type yes 303 if you're open to hidden blessings. 4:04 You are seen, held, and loved beyond measure. Let go of needing proof, your soul already knows. Type yes 404 to affirm your inner knowing. 5:45 Your reality is shifting rapidly. Embrace the unknown, it's leading you to the life you once only dreamed about. Type yes 545 if you're ready for what's next. 6:11 The universe is sending messages in waves. Pay attention to patterns, symbols, and nudges. Type yes 611 if you're open to divine communication. 7:47 You are awakening gifts that have been dormant. Now is the time to share your light with the world. Type yes 747 if you're ready to rise into your calling. 8:38 Cycles are completing. Your lessons are turning into wisdom. Now you move forward lighter, freer. Type yes 8:38 to celebrate your evolution. 9:59 This is the final test before breakthrough. Stay aligned. The finish line is closer than it feels. Type yes 959 if you're ready to cross into your victory. God has taught me many things, but today, He whispered something different, something deeper. You see, every morning we wake up, there's more happening than just the rising of the sun. There's a divine invitation, quiet and sacred, waiting for our response. You may not hear it audibly, but your spirit knows it's there. That gentle nudge, that pull toward stillness, it's God asking, will you let me take it from here? You can worry, or you can pray. One weighs you down. The other lifts you up. One builds tension. The other releases peace. One tries to control. The other chooses surrender. And in that surrender is where everything begins to change. Because prayer is not about perfect words. It's not about memorized phrases or polished speeches. Prayer is a release. A holy exhale. A sacred letting go. It's the moment you stop performing and start trusting. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to hold everything together. You don't have to act like you're not hurting. God sees it all. And He's not asking for performance, He's asking for permission. Permission to move. Permission to heal. Permission to take over. You may be facing situations that feel too far gone. You may be surrounded by silence where you thought you'd hear answers. But the silence is not empty, it's full of strategy. Heaven is working behind the scenes. God is moving pieces you cannot see. And while you're waiting, He's weaving. The wilderness you're in isn't a place of punishment. It's a place of preparation. And you're not lost in it. You're led in it. Even here, there is purpose. You may feel like nothing is changing. But trust this, your faith is. Your heart is. Your character is. And sometimes the miracle isn't just what God does for you, it's what He does in you while you wait. If you knew what was ahead, you wouldn't worry the way you do. If you could see how God is defending you in rooms you're not even in, you'd sleep peacefully tonight. If you could feel the angels He's assigned to guard you, you'd walk with confidence again. So today, choose trust. Even when it doesn't make sense. Especially when it doesn't make sense. Worship through the weariness. Praise through the pressure. Hold on to hope when your hands feel too tired. Because your breakthrough isn't just coming, it's already begun. God is not done with you. Not even close. There are blessings with your name on them that haven't even reached the surface yet. There are doors being built just for you. There are prayers you forgot you prayed that are still producing fruit in secret places. So when your heart starts to race with worry, pause. Breathe. and say, God, I trust you with this. Say it again, even if your voice shakes. Especially if it does. Let that declaration become your atmosphere. Let it shift your soul. Because the moment you choose prayer over panic, trust over turmoil, and faith over fear, heaven leans in. The Spirit moves. And peace wraps around you like a blanket you didn't know you needed. This is not the end of your story. This is the page where it starts to turn. God has not forgotten. He's simply making it better than you imagined. So don't give up. Don't shrink back. Don't let today's struggle cancel tomorrow's promise. Lift your head. Straighten your crown. Open your hands. And say it out loud, even if it's just a whisper, God, I give this to you. I trust you to do what only you can do. There comes a moment in every believer's life where the usual stops working. The plans you've made start falling apart. The strategies that once gave you success now seem useless. The doors you once walked through without effort now remain closed. And in those quiet moments, when the results dry up and nothing seems to move forward, you begin to hear the whisper of heaven, this is not a punishment. This is a holy reset. God will often allow you to enter a season where nothing works, not because you failed, but because He's about to show you the difference between self-reliance and supernatural grace. You're not being left behind. You're being set apart. You're being rewired to recognize that your gifts were never the source, they were only the vessels. Chapter 1. Divine disruption is a sign of intimacy. When God disrupts your rhythm, it's a sign of divine intimacy. He interrupts patterns that are no longer aligned with your next level. Divine disruption feels like being stripped, but it is really being set free. You may be asking, why did this relationship fail? Why did the opportunity slip through my fingers? Why did everything I built start unraveling? The answer is not in your performance, but in His providence. God loves you too much to let you build success on a foundation that won't last. So He steps in, not to shame you, but to shift you. He allows what worked in one season to fail in the next so you can no longer depend on it. Grace over grind. You didn't get here because you were the smartest. You didn't make it through because you always knew what to do. The truth is that grace carried you. There were days you were lost, and grace covered you. There were moments you were disqualified, and grace chose you. There were seasons you were unfaithful, and grace kept pursuing you. God's grace doesn't just save you. It sustains you. It promotes you. It elevates you to places your resume can't explain. That's why this next season won't be built on hustle or perfection. It will be built on obedience and alignment. God is tearing down the idol of grind and exalting the beauty of grace. Nothing working is actually everything working in the kingdom. Paradox is purpose. When nothing works, God is often doing His deepest work. That's when He teaches you to pray, not perform. To seek, not strive. To rest, not rush. The closed doors are protection. The failed plans are preparation. The silence is strategy. You're not being buried, you're being planted. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. You're not being denied, you're being developed. Every detour, every disappointment, every delay, it's all being used. You thought you were off course, but you were actually being rerouted to purpose. From emptiness to elevation. Before God fills, He often empties. He lets your natural efforts run out so His supernatural supply can take over. This is what happened with Peter when he fished all night and caught nothing. But when Jesus said, "Cast your net on the other side," and Peter obeyed, the same sea that was empty suddenly overflowed. God is bringing you to the end of yourself so you can see what happens when He steps in. You're not done. You're at the threshold. You're not empty. You're being prepared for overflow. You're not disqualified. You're being reshaped for destiny. Promotion hidden in the pause. You've been in a pause, not because God forgot you, but because He's promoting you in the secret place. What feels like delay is divine design. God hides His greatest promotions in seasons where nothing seems to be moving. He's increasing your capacity. He's breaking your attachment to results. He's anchoring you in identity, not performance. He's making sure that when the spotlight comes, your character can carry the weight of the call. He's building endurance. He's enlarging your spiritual lungs. He's pouring new oil into old wounds. This grace will carry you further than effort ever could. Grace doesn't need your perfection. It only needs your surrender. God is calling you back to the place where you let Him lead. He's not asking for a blueprint. He's asking for your heart. He's not waiting for you to have it all figured out. He's waiting for your yes. This is not the end, it's the beginning of a new way of walking. The grace that brought you through the last storm will carry you into your next miracle. And it won't make sense to people who only measure success by results. But heaven doesn't measure fruit the way earth does. In heaven's eyes, you've already won because you didn't quit. You've already advanced because you kept trusting. You've already pleased God because you remained faithful when no one else was watching. Watch what happens when grace goes before you, opens the doors, aligns the people, multiplies the resources, and silences the storms. This is your season of divine grace, divine realignment, and divine breakthrough. There's a reason your spirit has been restless. You're being stirred, drawn, and prepared for something that doesn't yet make full sense to your mind, but your spirit already knows. You didn't ask for this calling. You didn't apply for the position. In fact, if it were up to you, you would have selected someone with more experience, someone with a cleaner history, someone who seems to fit the part. But God doesn't call based on human resumes, He calls based on divine purpose. You weren't chosen by accident. You were chosen by design. The discomfort you feel is not rejection, it's redirection. The internal tug is not confusion, it's confirmation. God is calling you into something greater, and He's not asking if you're ready. He's already declared that He is. The doors are about to open in places you never dreamed of entering, not because you're qualified by worldly standards, but because you're called by heaven's decree. Before God sends you, He sanctifies you. Before He commissions you, He conditions you. And often, that preparation happens in the wilderness, not in the applause of the crowd. That's why the last season felt so hidden. It's why things didn't seem to work out the way you planned. What looked like delay was divine development. Moses was in the wilderness for 40 years tending sheep before God called him to deliver a nation. David was anointed king as a boy but returned to the field with sheep before being recognized by people. Esther was a young Jewish girl who never thought she'd wear a crown. But their wilderness didn't disqualify them, it trained them. You, too, are being trained. The quiet moments, the hidden prayers, the silent tears, they're not forgotten. They're sharpening you. God's not looking for a performance, He's looking for a vessel. He doesn't need your perfection, He needs your yes. Stop saying you're not ready. God knows you feel unsure. God knows you don't have all the answers. But grace doesn't require full understanding. Grace covers the gap between where you are and where He's sending you. You keep thinking your background disqualifies you. But your brokenness isn't a barrier, it's a beacon. It points to His glory. People may doubt you. You might even doubt yourself. But God never doubts the one He calls. He sees what you don't. He's placed deposits in you that haven't been revealed yet. Gifts, wisdom, courage, discernment, endurance, all hidden inside you, waiting for the moment He releases you into purpose. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not less than. You're right on time for the divine appointment God set for you before you were even born. You will not go alone. This is not a solo mission. You will not be left to figure it out on your own. When God sends, He doesn't just give a destination, He gives His presence. Moses told God, "If your presence doesn't go with me, don't send me." And God responded, "There's a fresh assurance coming to you now. You are not going alone. You're walking with the one who knows the way." Doors will open not because of who you know, but because of who walks with you. Opportunities will come not because you strived for them, but because He ordained them. God often chooses the most unlikely people to do the most extraordinary things. The parts of your story that you've been ashamed of, He'll use them. The moments of failure you thought made you unworthy, He'll redeem them. The things you thought disqualified you from ever being used by God, He'll turn them into testimonies that will set others free. Think of Paul, once a persecutor of Christians, yet used to write most of the New Testament. Think of Peter, who denied Jesus, but later became the rock on which the church was built. God doesn't need perfect people. He works through surrendered ones. Your scars are not a sign of weakness, they're evidence of survival. God doesn't need you to have it all together. He just needs your availability. Your yes is your qualification. Receipt money with wings. God is going ahead of you. He's placing your name in the mouths of decision makers, influencers, and leaders. You're being remembered in places you've never been and considered for opportunities you never applied for. Favor is locating you. What God is doing in your life cannot be stopped by human limitations. It doesn't matter who tries to block you, ignore you, or speak against you. If God is for you, nothing can stand against you. He will prepare a table before you in the presence of those who thought you were unqualified. This calling is not just about your comfort. It's about the kingdom. You are being positioned not just for personal blessing, but for divine impact. What God does through you will ripple beyond your lifetime. You are a generational changer, a curse breaker, a builder of bridges, a light in dark places. Your obedience will bless others. Your story will become someone else's survival guide. Your journey through the fire will light the way for someone still stuck in the flames. So don't minimize your assignment, it carries the weight of glory. Even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when it feels like no one understands, remember this: you were chosen for such a time as this. Fear will try to convince you to stay where it's safe. But faith will lead you into the unknown. It's okay to be nervous, but don't let that stop you. Fear cannot stop what God has already ordained. The enemy will whisper doubts: you're not ready. You're not good enough. What if you fail? But God is whispering something louder: I am with you. I have prepared you. You will not fail because I will not fail. The next chapter of your life is not about fear, it's about faith. It's about bold steps. It's about divine courage. You are not going back to comfort, you're going forward in calling. Trust that even if the path looks uncertain, the God who called you is faithful. This won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. God will stretch your capacity so that you can carry the weight of the glory He's placing on your life. He's not just calling you to new places, He's expanding you from the inside out. You'll grow in wisdom. You'll grow in boldness. You'll grow in faith. You'll grow in authority. And what once felt too heavy will begin to feel like purpose. Don't shrink back. Don't disqualify yourself. Don't ask God to give the assignment to someone else. You were made for this. You were chosen for this. You were born for this. The power doesn't come from your ability, it comes from your obedience. The strength doesn't come from your own skill, it comes from the Spirit of God within you. So walk into the room. Walk into the meeting. Walk onto the stage. Walk into the assignment. Walk into the next chapter. Even if your knees are shaking, even if your voice trembles, walk anyway. Because sometimes God allows the ground beneath you to shake, not to break you, but to break what was never meant to stay. To shake loose the lies. To collapse the idols. To clear away the distractions so you can finally hear His voice again. Not through the noise, but through the stillness. He is not the author of confusion. He is not the voice of fear. If what you're hearing makes you feel abandoned, hopeless, or small, it's not Him. His voice comes softly, yet with strength. It may not always make sense, but it always brings peace. God never meant for you to carry anxiety like armor. He never intended for you to lose sleep over things He already has under control. He never designed your heart to run on fear. It was made to beat with trust. Yes, there are unknowns. Yes, there are delays. But none of them are a match for the one who holds time in His hands. What looks like is often God's way of saying, "You're right where you need to be, not because of the path you planned, but because of the grace that's been guiding you all along." Even your detours have been part of the design. And the pain? The nights you cried silently? The moments you didn't tell anyone about? God caught every single tear. Not one was wasted. He saw the way you kept showing up even when your spirit was tired. And He's not overlooking that kind of faith. Sometimes the greatest faith isn't loud. It doesn't always look like fire. Sometimes it's quiet. It's choosing to stay when it would be easier to run. It's believing when nothing is changing. It's worshiping through heartbreak and saying, "God, I don't understand, but I still trust you." That is the kind of faith that moves mountains. That is the kind of trust that draws heaven to earth. So don't you dare give up. Don't you dare let the enemy convince you that it's too late, that it's too broken, that you're too far gone. The enemy will always try to speak the loudest right before God reveals His glory. And glory is coming. There's a reason you feel the pressure. You're close. The promise is stretching itself toward you. Heaven is making room. God is not just bringing restoration, He's bringing resurrection. Things you thought were dead are about to live again. Dreams you buried are about to breathe again. Faith you lost is about to return stronger than ever before. But here's what God wants from you, your heart. The kind of honesty that says, "I'm scared, God, but I'm still yours." The kind of surrender that says, "I let go of my will, even if it hurts." The kind of devotion that says, "Even if you don't answer how I expected, I will still praise you." You were never meant to live by what you see. You were born to live by what God says. And He's already spoken over you, loved, chosen, protected, anointed, healed, restored, destined, redeemed. So hold your head high. Shake off the dust of yesterday. Let today be the beginning of something holy. Heaven has already gone ahead of you. God has already made the way. Now walk in it. One step at a time. With boldness. With faith. With open hands. Even when it feels like silence surrounds you, God is closer than your breath. There are moments when you may not feel His presence, when prayers feel like they fall flat, when the ache in your chest gets heavier by the hour, but even in those moments, His eyes are still on you. His hand has not left your life. There is not one second that escapes His notice. Not one sigh. Not one sleepless night. Not one whispered prayer. He is the God who sees. When the world overlooks you, He sees you. When people misunderstand you, He understands you. When you can't find the words, He reads the language of your tears. You don't have to beg for His attention. You already have it. You were never meant to earn His love, only to receive it. And this love? It is wild, relentless, unshakable. It is not fragile like human approval. It doesn't waver with your mistakes. It doesn't fade with your failures. It doesn't decrease when you doubt or pull away. His love doesn't shrink, it surrounds. It covers. It restores. You are not too broken for Him. He's not intimidated by your questions. He's not scared off by your weakness. He's not disappointed in your process. He knows what healing takes. He knows how deep the wound goes. And He knows how to hold your heart while it heals. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to push through it on your own. You don't have to wear a brave face when your soul feels tired. Right in the middle of the mess. Right in the questions you haven't said out loud. Right in the places you've hidden from others, and maybe even from yourself. God is not afraid of your brokenness. In fact, that's where He does His best work. He takes shattered pieces and creates something stronger. Something more beautiful than before. Something filled with purpose, because it's filled with Him. You may not understand why things happened the way they did. You may still feel the sting of disappointment. But hear this, just because it didn't go the way you expected doesn't mean God has abandoned the plan. It just means He's doing something higher. Something better. Your story doesn't end in pain. It doesn't end in loss. It doesn't end in confusion. Your story ends in glory. Not because of who you are, but because of who He is. Faithful. Steady. Sovereign. The author and finisher of your faith. Every delay has purpose. Every detour is a setup. Every heartbreak is leading to healing. Every closed door is making room for the right one. And every no is preparing you for a bigger yes. Let your tears be a form of prayer. Let your silence be filled with trust. Let your waiting become worship. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. And when it's time, when the season shifts, everything that's been held back will be released in divine timing. God is not just restoring what you lost. He's multiplying it. The love, the joy, the purpose, the peace. It will come back, but stronger, wider, deeper, more beautiful things multiplying it. The love, the joy, the purpose, the peace. It will come back, but stronger, wider, deeper, more beautiful than before. So let your heart rest today. Not because the storm is over, but because the one who calms it is.